Hello everybody, it's Maikito. As you all know, there's a very large slate tomorrow. I tried going through all the games, or as much as the games that I could, because not all the picks are out, but there were still plenty to choose from. And I did find some that I liked, so I'll just get straight into them. There's a couple picks to go through, and I want to get this out before they get bumped or anything. So the first one is Eberechi Eze to go higher than 2 shots, playing at home for Palace, going up against Liverpool. He's at 2+ and the last 5 out of 5 and all 8 this season. And last season he played them in one game where he started, and it was away from home to Liverpool, and he had 2. He averaged 3.62 per 90 last season, and he went from averaging 2.6 shots away from home to 3.6 at home. So he had 2 against them away, where he averaged less, and now he's playing at home where he averaged more, which is good. He's a long shot taker as well. Last season he took 43 from inside and 40 from outside, and he's also their set piece taker. So if they get free kicks as well, he's gonna be the ones taking those shots as well. And Liverpool just had a game on the 2nd, so 3 days before this game starts. So their starters are gonna be tired. They could maybe rotate some players. I don't think they will. But either way, they're going to be playing against a tired Liverpool squad, so they need to take advantage of this, especially Eze as well. And he's a great dribbler who can find his own chances, and I think they're underestimating him at this mark. If this gets bumped up to 2.5, you can still take it there. I know you can get this at plus with extra value at 2.5 on underdog, but at 2.0, I like the safety here. So I like Eberechi Eze to go higher than 2 shots. My next prop is Jamie Vardy to go higher than 0.5 shots on target, playing at home for Leicester City, going up against Bournemouth. While he has only gone over in 2 out of 6 games so far this season, he hasn't had the best matchup defensively. The ones where he hasn't hit was against Arsenal, a tough defense, Everton, a defensive team, Villa, a possession team who's also good defensively, and Fulham, an aggressive team who's defensive as well. So they haven't had he hasn't had really good matchups. At least he hasn't been able to get one where opponents allow a lot of shots. But Bournemouth are one of those teams that allow a lot of shots, and they're good on the attack, but they're also weak defensively, especially away from home. And if you look at the away games that they've had so far, they gave Liverpool 19 shots, they gave Everton 18 shots, and they gave Forest 14 shots. So I can expect Leicester to take the same, if not more, because they're just a pretty decent attack. They just haven't had a chance to show it so far. And Bournemouth are weak versus through balls, where Vardy finds his chances. Vardy is not really a player that finds his own chances. It's more like he makes the runs. He's one of the best strikers I've seen, being able to find the space in between defenders. So he gets a lot of his chances from his teammates sending him through balls, and Bournemouth are weak against those, so it's a good matchup for him to take advantage of. And I also trust him. I'm actually also a fan of him. Everybody knows Vardy Party, and at home, I can expect his shot on target drought to end here. He averaged 1.58 shots on target per 90 in the championship, so he still has what it takes. And Leicester are yet to pick up a win at home. And last season he took 28 shots with his right, 15 headers and 14 with his left, so he's a very versatile striker, and I expect him to find chances. This is whether he takes them, and I think he will. I trust him. I like Jamie Vardy to go higher than 0.5 shots on target. My next prop is Bernd Leno to go higher than 4.5 saves, playing away from home for Fulham, going up against City. Well, he hasn't gone over on any of the 6 games so far this season. The best opponent that he's had, a good attacking opponent, has only been Manchester United, and United played at home, and he had 4 saves when just under. Now they're playing against Manchester City, which is the best attack in the league, and City are one of the teams that are going to be fighting for the title, and they're 1 point behind Liverpool, so they're going to be aggressive, and they're going to be shooting. Even the point difference is going to be a big difference. It always comes down also to point difference as well, so they're going to be aggressive. It's just whether he makes those saves or not. And opposing Manchester City keepers that have played Manchester City away from home have gone over in 4 out of 5 games, and the only under was the first game. And City rested a lot of players in the last game in the Champions League because they had a pretty easy matchup. So I expect the full strength Manchester City squad. They need this win before the international break. And so far this season, Bernd Leno has saved 77.3% of the shots he's faced, which is an improvement from 68.7% last season. And I don't expect City's attack to slow down just because they score 1 or 2. Like I said, they need that point difference, and Fulham's a team that is defensive and don't hold a lot of possession, so Manchester City is going to have a lot of opportunities. And with a player like Phil Foden entering the squad, again, he's one of those that takes a lot of shots as well, so I just like this prop. I think they're underestimating, or really not underestimating, but I just like the line. I like Bernd Leno to go higher than 4.5 saves. My next prop is Kylian Mbappé to go higher than 2 shots on target playing at home for Real Madrid, going up against Villarreal. He's had 2 plus in 4 out of 5 games, and Real Madrid are coming off a loss to Lille in which he came off the bench because he wasn't fully fit. So he had more rest than his teammates that he's had, and he's a shooter. He's taken 27 with his right and 11 with his left, which is better than last season when it comes to his versatility, because last season in Ligue 1 he took 100 with his right and 19 with his left, so he's been able to be more versatile so far this season, which is good to see. And he's a great dribbler. He's very fast and he's willing to take those long shots as well. Last season he took 84 from inside the box and 36 from outside the box, and Villarreal are weak versus through balls, which is good. They have allowed 14 shots on average away this season. And Real Madrid are 3 points behind Barcelona, and they're going to be motivated to get that win, and especially coming from that embarrassing loss, because Madrid should be winning against Lille. Now they're playing at home, and they need to pick up the win. And he's one of the rested players, their best player, one of their best players. So he needs to be out there and be aggressive. And Villarreal have conceded the 3rd most goals so far this season. So it's not like Villarreal are good defensively. They are high in the table, but that's because they've been able to score. But we're not worried about Villarreal's attack. We're worried about their defense. And 2.0s were usually where his mark's at, and with rest. And after that loss, I expect him to go out there and have a good performance. So I like Kylian Mbappé to go higher than 2 shots on target. My next prop is actually his teammate, and it's Rodrygo to go higher than 2 shots. Not shots on target, just his shots line for Madrid going up against Villarreal. He's at 2 plus in 5 out of 5 games, and so far this season in general, he's been overshadowed since Mbappe's return, and I like the line here at 2.0. He's a good dribbler as well. He also likes to take those long shots. So far this season, 8 have been from inside, 5 have been from outside, and last season 67 were inside and 20 were outside. And he played against them once last season, and he was the main striker in that game. But regardless, he had 6 shots in that game, and he was benched in the last game versus Lille, and it showed. So with him being benched and then losing, it shows how actually important Rodrygo is to that Real Madrid attack and how underrated he is compared to Vinicius and Mbappe. He creates a lot of space, and he finds a lot of space because they focus so much on Vinicius and Mbappe that he gets left free. And because he was benched, he's also one of the 2 players in the attack that's going to be well rested. And like I said, he's an underrated piece of the attack. He averaged 3.28 shots per 90 last season, and he went from 2.5 away to 3.2 at home. And I think 2.0 is just a disrespectful line. Even if it goes up to 2.5, you can take it there as well. So I like Rodrygo to a higher than 2 shots. You can also take a look at the Villarreal keeper, but I don't want to take Madrid shots and Villarreal keeper just because if it does happen to be a bad game, all 3 of these correlate. So you could take it. All 3 of them, like I said, correlate. So either all of them hit or they all don't hit, in my opinion. So you can take a look at the Villarreal keeper, but I'm not making it official play. Up to you whether you want to take that line or not. So it's up to you. My next prop is Callender to go higher than 3 saves playing away from home for Inter Miami going up against Toronto. He's had 3 plus in 4 out of 5 games and 5 out of 5 in away games so far. And Miami leave a lot of defensive gaps, especially when they are defending the counterattack, because they play a lot of players forward and they have a lot of older players, so they can't come back and defend as much as they want to. And Miami allow an average of 4.3 shots away from home, really just in general this season, and Toronto averaged 13.3 shots, with 5 of those being on target at home. He's had 3 plus saves in both games that they've played against Toronto this season. And Miami just clinched their top spot in their last game and won the title for their conference against Columbus last game. So 1, they might rest some players, which is good for us. And 2, Toronto are fighting for that last spot, the 9th place spot for the playoffs later on in the season. And they're in a 3-way tie. Them and 2 other teams all have 37 points. So they're barely clinching onto that spot. So they're going to be aggressive. Even with the injuries to Insigne and the suspension to Bernadeschi, I still expect them to be aggressive. Like I said, I could expect some Miami rotation in the squad, and Toronto need this win. And Callender's been hitting this prop pretty consistently. Inter Miami's not a good defensive team, so I like this prop. I like Callender to go higher than 3 saves. And then the last prop that I like so far is Charles de Ketelaere to go higher than 0.5 shots on target playing at home for Atalanta going up against Genoa. He's gotten over in 4 out of 5 league games so far, and he averaged 1.10 shots on target per 90, so he averaged a little over 1 last season from 1.98 total. So that shows you that he's a pretty efficient shooter. Pretty good chance that if he takes a shot, it's gonna be on target. And he played against Genoa twice last season and went over and won out of the 2 games. The one that he didn't go under or over this mark, he got subbed out at halftime, which was strange, but I don't expect that to happen again. He's a good dribbler who started as a striker and has really been converted to an attacking midfielder, which is good because he also takes those long shots, and because he plays a little deeper now, like I said, when they go to attack and he's a fast player, good dribbler, if he gets that chance to take that long shot, he will take it, which is what I like. He's 6'1", and last season he took 30 shots with his left, 10 headers, and 5 with his right. And this season so far, he's taken 5 with his left and 4 headers. So when it comes to the his left foot or the headers, he can do either one, which is good. He doesn't shoot as much with his right, but it's fine because, like I said, he takes those long shots. And Genoa don't keep possession, which means more chances for the Ketelaere to get the ball up when they're attacking and take that long shot, or even in the box when they get those headers. And Genoa just lost at home 3-0 to Juventus, who had 12 shots. And then the other 2 games that they've played, when they've played at home against good opponents, or just in general when they've had have played against good attacking teams, they allowed Roma, who played away from home, 16 shots, and Inter Milan, who also played away from home, 17 shots. So the only good matchups that Genoa have had, or the good attackers that have played against Genoa, have been away from home to them, which is Juventus, Roma, and Inter. And this is the first tough game for them away from home. And if they allow that amount of shots when they play at home, I can only imagine how they will be when they play away. And Atalanta has been a good attack, and I like this prop. I think you're getting good value here. I like Charleston Ketelaere to go higher than 0.5 shots on target. I mentioned before that third member never replied to that giveaway, and so I was giving him time. He never did. I did not forget, so I brought back the wheel, which one of the members will randomly get their membership paid for. So we'll go ahead and spin it. This is for the members because of that. Whenever I went on my trip and I made the videos, they weren't made private for them before making them public. It looks like the winner is Johan Diaz. So Johan, congratulations, you were the last winner for that giveaway. So if you want to either contact me, drop either your Cash App in the comments, or you can join the Discord, or if you are in Discord, just message me privately there and just contact me, just show me proof that it is you, and I will send you the money. So congratulations to Johan. With that being said, I do have the YouTube memberships, completely up to you. It is for those that want to get the plays out early before anybody else. Try to avoid potential plays and bumps and stuff getting taken away. So I really appreciate if you join that. And then I also have my underdog, my PrizePicks, all of those codes in the description. So if you want to use that, I appreciate that as well. And I really want to thank anybody who supports me in any way. My first money line play is the Inter Milan second half 3-way money line against Torino. I usually take their first half at home because this hit in 16 out of 19 games at home last season. But those 3 times it didn't hit, one of those was against Torino. And actually, when they played Torino both times last season, they couldn't hit that first half prop in both games. But they did hit the second half prop in both of those games. And it's because Torino's a pretty good defensive side, especially in the first half. And this prop has actually hit. The second half has hit in 3 out of 4 games so far at home for Inter Milan, which is what we like to see. And after the first half is over, I expect either a draw or maybe a 1-0 win to Inter that could hit. But I like the odds better for the second half because even if they're still winning after that first half, I don't expect them to just park the bus and end the game there. I expect them to go out there and try to get a second goal because they're not first place in the table right now. It's currently Napoli, and even if they win this game, they'll be like 1 point behind, so they can't afford to drop any points. And they rested some of their players due to their easier matchup last game in the Champions League, so I expect a full strength Inter Milan squad. And like I said, if they win this game, they move into second place, and they're just a better team going up against Torino. Torino are a good team, but they're not a great attacking team. They're a decent defending team, but Inter Milan will overwhelm them, and I just like their squad, and I like this prop. I like the Inter Milan second half through a money line against Torino. And then the last player prop that I like for the England Championship is the Burnley money line against Preston North End. They're undefeated at home so far with 3 wins and 1 draw. They scored 11 goals and only conceded 3 so far. And the reason why I feel like you're getting value here is because Burnley actually have a lot of injuries that they're going through, but even then, they're still the better squad. Their injuries have been in the attack, but they still have a pretty good squad depth. They're still strong. Defensively, they don't have any injuries on defense, so they're still strong defensively. So they can still hold Preston to even no goals, and even in the attack and midfield, they still have players like J. Rodriguez, Forster, who might or may not play, Koleosho, and even Brownhill in the midfield, their captain. So they still have great players to choose from. They have just a better squad depth. Like I said, the reason why they're getting better value here is because it's not the full starters that they want, but they still have a better team than Preston. Preston so far are yet to win an away game. They've drawn 1 and lost 3, and in those away games they've scored 3 and 4 and conceded 10. So they're not a good defensive team anyways. So Burnley just need to take advantage of that defensive matchup and attacking matchup. They can't. Preston can't score, and Burnley are good at defending, which is good. And Burnley play off of through balls, and they're good at finishing their chances, while Preston are really weak at defending the through balls, and they don't keep possession. So it's going to be a lot of Burnley attack and Preston defense, and Preston cannot defend. So I just like the value you're getting here, even with their injuries, to have a good squad depth. I like the Burnley money line against Preston North End. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. We had Edin Dzeko that didn't start, so he DMP'd. So I did add the striker that started instead of him, Yusuf in the city, to go higher than 2 shots. He pushed with 2, and Cardi higher than 3 shots, pushed as well. He ended with 3, so still better than a loss. And then the other one was Vicario to go higher than 2 saves, and he hit. So technically a sweep when it came to player props, but technically it was only one that was able to fully play or didn't push or didn't DMP. And then when it came to the money lines, went 1 for 2 on those. Roma did not come through against Elfsborg. They really rotated the squad, which I didn't expect them to. I believe they drew. They might have lost. I don't even remember. I just know that they didn't come through. And then the Galatasaray first half 3 money line, that one hit for us. Good thing we took their first half and not their money line or their second half, because they were winning by the first half and they ended up drawing in the second half. So we hit that one perfectly by taking the first half. So overall, only Roma let us down. Still had a pretty decent day. Last video, it was those weird matchups, but now with the large slate, I like these picks, and we just have a lot of players to choose from. If I do have any added plays, which I expect maybe 1 or 2 tomorrow, probably for the 9 games, because I will be at work tomorrow. So I could have some for the earlier games, might not have any for the later games because I'll be at work. They will be dropped in the pinned comment in this video, in the comments, so you can keep a lookout for those an hour to 30 minutes before the games start. But like I said, I probably won't have any for the later games. So I know I'll still have people messaging me regardless whether I'm gonna have more added plays. But for those that do listen, I won't have any. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.